What's up, yo? You know what? This whole thing is about survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. You know what? There's been a lot of back and forth about select, non-select, and some people trying to go after dudes who maybe deem select or whatever. Some hate. But that's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. Now, I'm breathing a little hard. Breathing a little hard. Leg day. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't a good leg day if you like two straight afterwards. You can just jump up. But anyway, survival of the fittest. Look, that's what that whole select, non-select thing come down to. Women by nature, their nature is to choose the fittest men. And not necessarily physically fit, though that plays a part, but the strongest men. The men whose genes are likely going to the future, even if they don't realize it consciously. You know, people want to follow the alpha beta paradigm. Those are the alpha males. And I know some people get mad because I know some people going to be like, well, why is she going for Chad and Tyrone, or worse, Pookie and Ray Ray? You know, Pookie not doing anything, or Ray Ray selling drugs on the corner. But you know, sometimes people will focus on those bad guys and think something's wrong with the woman, but I don't know why they skip over like the CEOs, the professionals, the attorneys who got the same thing, or the police officers, the soldiers, the police, firemen. You know, those warrior types out there. They skip over them, but most of them be knocking down some women. Some of the biggest players I've known in life, or just blue collar guys like that. And even with that Pookie or Ray Ray, or people say they going for criminals and stuff, that's still strong. It's because it's not about what they doing for a living, but it's the energy. There's no difference really between Ray Ray the drug dealer and Alfonso the CEO. It's the same energy. In fact, I've said this before. You don't want to back a CEO in a corner in an alley. Because even though people had that image of, well, from the tech area, like those tech millionaires, most CEOs they got some rough edges to them. Because you got to have a certain mindset. You got to be cold-blooded. You know, I remember when I was working retail, the manager of the store, somebody tried to shoplift. It was a male manager of the store, kind of a rough dude who walked a would-be shoplifter out and basically threatened him. He left him with a threat, not even a veiled threat. It was like, don't come in my fucking store again. And he had the same energy. That dude, this manager, the CEOs, I've met a few owners, even like one of the meanest dudes really I met in life, and I could call this dude's name, and I don't think his name is as well known, but his father's name is very well known. He used to go to American University in DC, and anybody familiar with American know a lot of rich kids went there. That's where I met a few. In fact, there was another kid there who had a very famous grandfather, and he was one of the meanest kids. He was nice, but he was generally a nice person, but you rub him the wrong way, he'll get down with anybody. He'll jump in the ring. He's a white boy. He'll jump in the ring with Pookie and Ray Ray at the same time with this crazy ass. But it was the same energy. And the other kid, he was like a straight pretty boy till he played football. He used to fuck people up. But it's the same energy, but that's the energy that women are going for. It's that strong, competitive, ruthless survivor type of energy. Always get caught up here. And to bring it home on that point, it's all about the energy. Think about something. Now you got legal marijuana in many states. And you got magazines, whole industries popping up. And the CEOs of these legal marijuana companies, you know, they being lauded as business people, businessmen, since we're mainly talking about men. Yet, 20 years ago, they be on some RICO charges and possibility of facing time in a federal prison. So the only thing that's changed is law. So don't get caught up in so much what they doing, what side of law they on. Laws can change. Somebody could create a national law where it says you have a problem with the person, you can get out in the middle of the street and fight them without any repercussions. But it's all about the energy. And see, that's what the women going for. They're going for the strongest energy. So knowing that every man has to have the idea that he's in a competition with another man. Now, I've talked about this on a video before. A lot of guys, they say, well, I ain't competing with him. Well, shit, then don't bitch then. Because that's just a reality. All those fine women you want, other dudes are competing with them. And if you don't want to compete, you better find some way to find that ugly woman who somebody might not be competing with as attractive. But it's survival of the fittest. Nature, I'm going to tell you what, nature don't really give a fuck about this civilization. Nature don't give a fuck about this civilization because if you think about it, civilization ain't even universal across the planet. You got everything from highly technical United States to like some indigenous societies that haven't bothered to come into this millennium. And it's still the same principle wherever. It's still the same energy. Nature, let me tell you what, nature always prevails. I don't care what the political system is. I don't care what the religious system is. And that nature is women look for the strongest genes. They don't care about laws or your religion or how well you follow the laws. Nah. Now, women try to their credit, but then that person who really hit them on a DNA level, that's the one that ovaries start popping for, and it's the strongest. And understanding that, if a man, the best thing a man could do, don't complain about it, but try to become the strongest. That's just it. Even when people talk about that whole alpha male thing, you got to compete to be the strongest alpha male. Like gorilla clans follow that alpha male thing, and with them they cold blooded. Only the alpha male gets to mate, but then he gets challenged. You know, the other ones don't sit around saying, oh, well, these women should just have sex with us because we're so nice to them. Nah, it don't work that way. And it might seem cold-blooded to say that, but that's just a reality. You know, I talk about my sons a lot. There was probably plenty of dudes who probably wanted to get my co-parent pregnant. Or a lot of these women. And there's been times you be out with some woman and you can see the look in somebody else's eye, they want them. I can't be like, oh, you know, you should share this pussy. Fuck that. I got the woman and you didn't. And if I lose out to a man, I don't get mad at him. I don't try to put him down. And that's just my attitude. I know I seem like nice, cool, calm Uncle Rom, except when, you know, get some detractors or somebody take my buffalo wings. But nah, am I cool? I'm a competitive, ruthless ass motherfucker about getting mine. And that's how you got to be out here. And you can't complain about a woman's nature and think just because you complain or you talk about it, she going to all of a sudden find you attractive. She going to find you weak, to be honest. Because just like some men, the select, the alphas, whatever term you want to use, are ruthless about getting theirs. Women are ruthless about who they pass those genes on to. And it's an energy thing. Now, they might deal with somebody for money or something if they're just trying to use them. But as I always say, that person need to, well, one, if they have a baby with her, get a DNA test. Two, double back home one day. Just double back home. But that's just it out here. It's always, all of it is a competition. All of it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just nature. It's going to be that way. Because like I said, nature don't give a fuck. Nature don't give a fuck about your religion. Nature don't give a fuck what your degree is. Shoot, nature tries to upgrade. That's the nature of any species. Any species. They always try to do better the next generation. So if some women all of a sudden they want some, some physical like alpha showpiece or whatnot, that's what they're gonna go for. You can talk about how intelligent you are and all that, and I mean, you do have a situation in this world where beta males have had some sway just by controlling the money supply, but that don't work with women anymore because they paying the women, so the women say, shit, we don't need your money anymore. So they getting back into their true nature. Now they picking according to what their DNA say they should get with. And it's still mitigated by class. I got a video coming out later that's, well, I don't think I'm going to do that video. I thought I was going to do it. But it's mitigated by class for now and culture for now. But shit, because even the racial division in that shit, you got some of these women going for brothers. Why? Brothers diesel. So they going for the strongest, most ruthless, most likely to survive. Shit. I'll say this about my sons. On just a physical basis, my oldest son was in the 100th percentile. That's some physical shit. My second son was in the 90th percentile growing up. That means they had, compared to other kids, they had the tallest and biggest. That's some pure physical shit. And that's what women go for. They want the best genes, most healthiest genes. And as they don't give a fuck what's attached to, whether that person's a street cleaner or a CEO. Now socially, yeah, it'd be good for a CEO, but shoot, they see that guy who got that he got that raw primal thing. Man, they ovaries gonna pop, sing, whatever. It's gonna happen. So it's survival to fit. I mean, that's just how it's been. Now I remember I said that years ago. People just got upset. But it's the reality, man. People gotta face the fucking reality. You know? And used to be, I was nice. I was holding back at first. People, y'all don't realize how much I was holding back. But I don't have a problem with it. Like if I lose out a woman to somebody, I don't lose any sleep. I congratulate her. I've never been jealous of another human being. Never been jealous of another man. And I never looked at her, and I never looked at another man like she should have picked me. I just said she picked who she wanted to pick. But I just made it so I'm going to make it hard for him not to pick me. Because I'm going to compete. Now, I know you get some guys on here talking about, well, I don't want to self-improve for women. Why are you watching these videos then? If we talking about women on these videos, if you ain't trying to do shit for women, you don't need to watch it otherwise. There's plenty of stuff to watch. On this channel anyway, I talk about self-improvement. Now, when I talk mainly for women on this channel, you know, if you want to get some philosophical shit, go to my deep thought. If you just on business, go to my business channel. So, but that's just the reality of life. There's always a competition, always somebody trying to get. If you got a fine ass woman, what you think? She just gonna be chill? You gonna ask her not to do anything? She might, but you gonna get 20 dudes who gonna come at her. And one of them, I'm gonna tell you how one of them gonna come at her too. One of them ain't gonna come straight. You might just be friends with her, but he gonna talk to her. And then what he gonna do is get her to talk about what you ain't doing right. He gonna sit there and listen. Then whatever she missing, he gonna pick up on it. But that's part of the competition too. So even when you get the woman, you still in competition. Unless, like I said, unless you get some ugly, out of shape, no sex appeal type of woman, you always gonna compete. And that's just nature. Understand something. Nature is just cold-blooded like that. Nature don't give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck about even all this shit. I'm sitting in a parking lot of a grocery store, shopping center. Nature's so powerful. If for whatever reason some disaster in this area stays empty for maybe 100 years, and somebody like 1,000 years from now just come over, all they're gonna find is dirt, grass, and everything. That's how powerful it is. That's why ancient civilizations, it's hard. You got to dig to even find that they existed. The shit's overgrown. Shoot. All the stone and stuff is like become dust. Woods rotted out. All that stuff. You know why? Nature wins. Nature wins. So you could either get mad because of it, and that's something that I know, like I said, I know some people saying, well, civilization, this shit could fall. It won't take much to like this civilization to fall. You already got like a lot of succession movements and people talking about civil war any damn way. Shit. Yeah, you look at any country across the world, and no matter how stable it looked, some shit, little bit of shit happens, all of a sudden it falls apart. Like Venezuela, shoot. Years ago, shoot, maybe 10 years ago. Shoot, they would chill. Now look at them. Argentina, any place where there was economic collapse. So nothing stays the same, but nature always prevails. And the oldest law in nature is survival of the fittest. Oldest law. So anyway, just keep that. And look, there ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Y'all can talk whatever. People can say whatever. Nature wins in the end. And should you either deal with that shit or don't. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.